be testing out a 3-in-1 lens filter from NEEWER. I hope I'm not butchering the name, but this is a 1 to 5 stop variable ND filter. It's a circular polarizer as well as a black diffusion filter. It's a 1/4 black diffusion. So we'll be testing this out today for photos as well as for video, because that's what I'll be using this for the most part. So there's a few glass elements here. One of them is the black diffusion filter. Then we have the circular polarizer if I rotate this whole thing. And then on top here we have the variable ND. So a 3-in-1 solution. Okay, so if I rotate the polarizer, you can see the reflections on this Insta Ace Pro 2 start to appear. And then I rotate it about 90 degrees and the reflections are gone. So yeah. Polarizer. The variable ND goes from ND2, which now I'm currently at f13 aperture with 1/50th of a second shutter speed. And if I go all the way to ND32, there we go. This is now f4 aperture with 1/50th of a second shutter speed. And you can see how the background got blurrier. Now the filter comes in this really nice pouch. I think this is actually not real leather, but it is like leatherish. Or maybe it is real leather, I don't know. But it has this, strap to bring this thing out. I love this mechanism, really cool. And it keeps your filter safe. So you put it in, it locks magnetically. So really nice job. And you can put it in your backpack, in your pocket. So it's always secure whenever it's not on your lens. Variable ND filters for my video creation all the time, and having that ND2 to ND32 is really useful if you're outside and you want to have a bit of a blurry background. So I shoot 25 frames per second, which means that my shutter speed is 1/50th, and if I want to have a blurry background, I need to dim down the exposure, because if I open up the aperture to get the blurry background, then well, the only way I can control the exposure is with the variable ND, and this one, I think it's doing a good enough job. Is it strong enough for every scenario? Probably not, but you can get away with most exposure scenarios, and you can use it for long exposure photography. So the build quality of the filter is, I would say, as good as it gets. The glass seems solid enough, as well as the frame and the feel when you're turning the rings. So the neutral density ring as well as the circular polarizer, they feel stiff enough and they give kind of a cool feedback. But what about that black mist filter? Now that gives a bit of a halo in the highlights. If you have lights around you, it's going to make them appear more glowy, or it gives that kind of a bloom effect, which makes the videos and the photos look more, well, fairy tale-ish, more cinematic looking. So overall, the build quality is pretty much up there with the highest standard. Now when it comes to the variable ND filter, if you go all the way to ND32, you will not get that cross effect or the vignetting that typically happens with other filters. This one is limited, which means that you will not cross the border and get that cross pattern, which is really annoying, especially if you don't notice it and then you figure it out later in post-production when it's already too late. And the circular polarizer, well, that pretty much does what a circular polarizer is supposed to do. Now it really depends on what angle of reflection you're filming or photographing. You can see in this example the reflection of the TV is disappearing, but the reflection on the floor is still there. And then if I turn the circular polarizer, it shifts. It doesn't get rid of all of the reflections, and that's, as I said, typical for any polarizer. Now in terms of thread sizes, I think you can get this filter for any thread size, all the way from I think 67 to 87 or 82. I have the 82mm thread because this is the biggest lens diameter thread that I have on all of my lenses, and I can use step down rings to fit this to other lenses which have smaller threads. So that is the variable ND filter slash polarizer slash black diffusion filter from NEEWER. You will find links down in the description if you want to try this out. I do recommend it, and I will be using this on my Sigma 24-70 lens because it is an 82mm thread. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hit the like button, consider subscribing, and leave a comment down below. Thank you, and I'll see you in well, one of these two videos if you want to stay on the channel. Bye bye.